Turning, looking,
It is Game 3 of a big three-game set between the Yankees and the Cardinals. The Yankees are trying to fight off a sweep behind the right arm of Frankie Montas, who's making his Yankees debut. My recap, your reactions, coming up next. This is Yankees Game Night.
It's just a reaction.
Goodness gracious! This is Yankees Game Night.
How's it going, everybody? Big news. NYY Recaps is now available on all podcast platforms as part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. Not only will we have the audio from each of our Yankees Game Night live post-game shows, the #1 Yankees post-game show on YouTube, but lots of other exclusive audio-only content as well, including stuff about content creation, long-form conversations, and more. Subscribe today from your favorite podcast catcher. Just type in NYY Recaps, and it'll pop right up. Tonight's game is brought to you by Manscaped, the world leader in male grooming products. Visit manscaped.com and use the code NYY Recaps at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. They've got everything from razors to body sprays to boxer shorts, and it's all great, and I vouch for them 100%. Visit manscaped.com, use the code NYY Recaps, 20% off and free shipping. Oh dear. How's it going, everybody? Well, that was a brutal loss. That was a miserable series. That was an appalling weekend. Yankees fans, I don't blame you if you're starting to worry. This might be the worst 9-game lead, or the most insecure 9-game lead now in ever in baseball, really. This team just continues to find new ways. On days when the offense breaks out, pitching doesn't get the job done. Got to credit the Cards. They outplayed us in pretty much every way. They out-hit us, they out-homered us, they out-bullpenned us, they out-managed us. The Cards completely made fools of the Yankees this entire weekend. Yankees have now lost 5 straight. Pitching was abysmal today. Offense actually wasn't bad. 16 hits, 9 runs. Dozen men left on base again, though. That's a problem. And it's been a problem for 20 years. I'm sure most of you on the stream watched the game, but for those of you who missed it, or maybe listening to this tomorrow, today was the debut of the Yankees' biggest trade deadline acquisition, both figuratively and literally, Frankie Montas. I've been calling him Montas, but apparently it's Montas. WNBC. Just a reminder, the cost for Montas came with Lou Trevino, by the way. Included top prospects Ken Waldachuk, J.P. Sears, and Luis Medina, effectively thinning out the Yankees' minor league pitching for the foreseeable future. And he had a tough day. He had a really, really tough day. Longtime Cardinal Adam Wainwright was on the mound for the Cardinals. DJ LeMahieu, who had a good day, greeted him with a booming double to lead off the game. But from there on out, it just got worse. I can't find my button for the sound effect. It was, all right, look. So the Yankees jumped up to a 1-0 lead. Carpenter picked up a sac fly, but Montas gave it right back. A lot of pitches in the middle of the plate in the first inning. And then you figure, all right, tough first inning. He hasn't pitched in a while. He'll put it together. Yankees give him a big lead in the second inning. Back-to-back singles from Gleyber Torres and Andrew Benintendi. And then Aaron Hicks cued one off the end of the bat to end his 0 for 33 streak with an RBI single. That put the Yankees up 2-1. Judge scorched one up the middle with the bases loaded for 2 runs. That made it 4-1. 94 and 95 RBIs on the season for him after that at bat. And you're thinking, all right, we got Montas, WNBC. I'm going to keep screwing that up. Putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable there. Essentially, Montas just had nothing. He got absolutely shellacked in the second inning. Didn't help himself by walking the first 2 hitters. Ended up serving up a 3-run home run to Arenado. That put the Cardinals up 6-4. And look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. Frankie Montas was terrible today. He went 4 innings. He gave up 6 runs. He's a better pitcher than that. For sure. Silver lining is just 1 game. I tweeted this out. CC Sabathia gave up 6 runs in his Yankees debut against the Baltimore Orioles. These things happen. You can't hit the panic button after 1 start on 1 player. I don't blame you if you're starting to put the panic button within reach for the Yankees as a whole, though. Montas pitches really well against Houston, so you just hope that he can get it into form and then come up big in the postseason. That's what counts. Yankees had Wainwright on the ropes in the 4th, but Gleyber Torres bounced out with the bases loaded to end the inning. Hitting with runners in scoring position continues to be a huge, huge obstacle for this Yankees team. Oftentimes, hitting with runners on base is what determines a playoff series. And right now, the Yankees aren't getting it done in the regular season. And it just makes you wonder, is it going to be the same story in October? Benintendi smoked another double in the top of the 5th inning, his 2nd hit of the game. He's coming around. Yankees end up loading the bases with nobody out. Marwin Gonzalez got punched out on literally one of the worst calls I've ever seen. 4 to 6 inches off the plate, breaking ball. Broke around the plate. Not even. It didn't even end up back near the catcher. It was off in the batter's box. DJ struck out for out number 2, but Aaron Judge to the rescue. He smoked a double off the center field wall to tie the game at 6. RBIs 96 and 97 for Judge. After another bad call to Matt Carpenter, Aaron Boone had finally seen enough. He got tossed for arguing balls and strikes. Matt Blake also got tossed. Look, the arguing is fine. Getting tossed is fine to show your guys that you've got their back. But Major League Baseball needs to do something about this umpiring. The umpiring this season has been especially bad. And it was bad for both sides. So I'm not blaming this loss on the umpiring. The umpiring didn't help. Definitely didn't help. They have a scorecard each day, and it'll tell you like what was the anticipated effect of the umpires in the run column. The Cardinals definitely advantaged or had an advantage today in the bad calls because the Yankees' bad calls came with runners in scoring position, bases loaded. I mean, it was huge situations. Major League Baseball needs to implement robotic umpires. I'm serious. I mean, I get it. My human element. No one cares about the human element of the game. Get the call right. We have the technology to get it right. The only reason umpires ever existed in the first place is because we didn't have artificial intelligence technology and GPS tracking in 1875. Yankees pitching fell apart in the bottom of the 5th. Nobody could throw strikes. Cards went up 9-6. Top 6. Donaldson beat the shift with an opposite field single, and Gleyber Torres smoked a base hit up the middle to put 2 on, nobody out. Hicks picked up his 3rd hit of the game to load the bases with 1 out, and then Jose Trevino poked an opposite field base hit to make it 9-7. He's been swinging the bat a little bit better. I love his approach at the plate. Just stays balanced, puts the barrel on the ball, isn't trying to pull it every time. He'll hit it where it's pitched. Another run scored on a fielder's choice to make it 9-8. But Paul Babe Ruth DeJong, with his 149 average and his 4 home runs this season, smoked a 3-run shot off of Scott Efros in the bottom of the 8th to make it 12-8. DJ homered in the 9th, but the Cards hang on to win, and they sweep 3 straight.
Post-game show is brought to you by Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
Lori C says, hot garbage. I mean, comment of the night, right out of the gate. Can't say it any better than that. That's what this team played like. Brett Deutsch says, this is a bad loss, but I think strike 3 on Marwin changed the entire game. If he's on first, he scores on Judge's double. 2 more runs that inning. Hey, you're probably right.
I wholeheartedly agree.
But the Yankees had a lot of opportunities to score. I'll pull up the box score in just a second. I didn't have it ready. It's my bad. Let's take a few more of your comments. I wish they wouldn't autoplay highlights when you go to the MLB website. I wish they would just let you click an actual play button. Why do websites do that? That really grinds my gears. Let's see here. E.T. Glass says, maybe the Yankees are just taking it easy for a while. Then they'll bust it loose and be in the World Series. I hope so. That was never the way I was taught to play baseball, though. I was taught you try to win every single game. You watch the Captain documentary, and Derek Jeter talks about how you're out there to win every game, every play, every at-bat, every pitch. Jerry Kenny says, this is a trend. Tell me how we make this better. I wish I had some answers. If I did, I would write a letter to Brian Cashman. I mean, we added some contact. We added Benintendi, but he's not getting the big hits with runners in scoring position. He's striking out when he's got runners on base. The time he gets the hits is when there's nobody on. So far. That's early in his Yankees career. And by no means am I blaming this on Benintendi. I think he's done fine. He hasn't hit as much as we expected to, but I expected a transition phase. But, there's a lot of things that went wrong. The bullpen, when Mike King went down, it just screwed up the whole bullpen because he was a guy that would come in the 5th or 6th inning and give you 2 1/3 of easy, efficient baseball. And he's not doing that anymore. They're trying to make Albert Abreu into that guy. But Albert Abreu isn't that guy. He doesn't have the command. He doesn't have the sink. Jonathan Loaizaga isn't the same pitcher anymore. Let's take a look at the box score. Sheesh. What a night. What a day. What a weekend. What a month. 3 for 6 for LeMahieu today. He's up to 288. He's going to be at 300 before too long. Judge was 2 for 5. He's over 300. 4 ribbies on the day. He's creeping up towards 100 on the season. Matt Carpenter took the collar, 0 for 4, but got a great reception from the fans in St. Louis. And look, I want to give a minute to shout out to the fans in St. Louis. A lot of times in these streams, if we lose to the Mets, we lose to the Astros, we lose to the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, I spend the next day banning trolls from the other teams. Because we're here to have a good time, and I get it. You should be able to have your fun or whatever, but you can comment respectably. The Cardinals fans have been super respectful, super nice, and they're just like, hey, y'all are playing great, but, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. They're being good sports about it. And the fans have shown how loyal they are by how well they've treated Matt Carpenter. Thankful for all the free mustache rides over the years. So how about just a round of applause for how well the Cardinals fans have done in this series. Been very respectful. Gleyber Torres, 3 hits today. He's coming out of it maybe a little bit. Scorched a couple. Benintendi, 2 for 5 today. Hicks, 3 for 4, but don't be fooled. 2 of those hits were on really bad swings where he got really lucky, where he just kind of cued the ball off the end of the bat. He still had a bad day. Trevino, 2 for 5 today. I love the way he swung the bat, as I mentioned earlier. 0 for 4 for Gonzalez. In terms of the pitching, the Yankees used 6 pitchers today. You see Montas, 6 earned runs, 3 walks, 3.59 ERA on the season. Abreu, 2 earned runs. Loaizaga continues to struggle, 2 more walks. He's got a devilish ERA of 6.66. Trevino, a third of an inning. He did actually allow a run in, but it was charged to Loaizaga because it was Loaizaga's base runner. He did get a strikeout. Wandy Peralta, 2 scoreless innings. He continues to pitch pretty well. And Efros, 3 earned runs on 1 swing. Now, we're told this guy keeps the ball in the ballpark. That's the 3rd home run he's allowed this season. I mean, that's not a huge number, but, can't be giving him up with a couple runners on in a tight game. Isaac Garcia says, collapse, get a grip. Rizzo and Stanton are out. That's huge. It is huge. But they're going to be out for a bit. And the Yankees have got to figure out a way to win without those guys right now. Raleigh says, bring back Gallo. Please, no. Please, no. Scott Graham says, we have to face the fact that we are currently not fielding a championship team. Lineup is weak and pitching, especially relief pitching, is horrible. Hey, this is your reactions. I'm not going to agree or disagree on that one. I think that this team can win the championship, but right now they're not playing like a championship team. Matt F says, can't get 16 hits and lose. Next, we go see Castillo. Yeah, we're going to see Castillo and Logan Gilbert, I think his name is, for the Mariners in this upcoming series. Look, the Yankees have their work cut out for them. By the way, in tomorrow's for tomorrow's game, it's a 10 p.m. game. So we're going to do a pre-game instead of a post-game. Same thing for Tuesday, and then we'll resume post-games on Wednesday. Just because don't like to stream at 1 o'clock in the morning. But we're going to have fun. We're going to give out a contest where we're going to award a prize if you can beat Nostra Derek. So, look forward to that. TechSpecs Studio says, is it time to panic? I don't think it's time to panic, but I think it's time to put the panic button within arm's reach. 1 or 2 more injuries and this team is fucked. Andy Yang says, Cardinals, a classic organization. Isaac says, when is Stanton and Riz back? Stanton hopefully back next weekend. Riz, we just don't know. Riz is at the mercy of his back, right? Gary Wanamaker says, Hal and Cashman will not be sleeping well tonight. Good. Neither will I.
Absolutely. Hey.
Pod Cal says, this game sucks. Ding. And Edwin NG says, and Robbie Ray pitches Wednesday, so it doesn't get any easier. So they're going to face Gilbert, Castillo, and Ray. That is no joke. That is a trio, and that's a pitching staff, at least starting pitching, that can take you deep into the playoffs. Stone Cold says, Braves won without Acuna Jr. last year. Baseball is unpredictable. I mean, you wouldn't choose to enter the playoffs without Acuna Jr. and they somehow win it all. But they could very well have Acuna Jr. this year and go out early. You can never predict baseball in the playoffs. It's a crapshoot. It comes down to a play here, a play there. I think that's why the Yankees got Bader, because they want him to run down those balls in the gaps. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do on defense. I've heard he's a master. Anthony Pupo says, Cashman tried to do too much at the deadline. I mean, that's interesting. That's an interesting perspective, because I've seen a lot of people say that he didn't do enough at the deadline. LV Sure says, you bugging. This team can't win the championship. Well, that's just like your opinion, man. Of course they can. Of course they can. It's August 7th. We have no idea what the team is going to look like going into the playoffs. I mean, if we get Stanton back healthy and Rizzo swinging the bat, it's a completely different lineup. And, when you go into the playoffs, you can hopefully set your rotation to match up well with the other team. You can't do that right now. I feel like the Yankees have had a lot of bad pitching matchups in a row. And in any given series, Garrett Cole and Nestor Cortez can have back-to-back really good games. Frankie Montas, jury's out. We'll see if he can handle New York. We'll see how he bounces back from this lackluster performance. But I'm not going to eat his lunch too much because, he was... And look, it sounds like I'm making excuses, but I'm just grasping at straws here because I want the guy to succeed. He hadn't pitched in a while. He's off his schedule. He's coming back from a shoulder injury, so his routine's been thrown off. And then they have the funeral. He gets traded. dealing with a lot of stuff, has to meet the team in St. Louis, meets his catcher for the first time last night. 102 real feel after not having played in a while. I mean, it sounds like I'm making excuses, and maybe I am. Ben says, there's no excuse for Montas instead of Castillo. Look, you can't control who other teams prefer in terms of prospects. The Mariners preferred to, or sorry, the Reds preferred the Mariners prospects over the Yankees prospects. Jalen says 4 losses in a row. That's 5. 5 losses in a row. Hyphen Dinero says Josh Donaldson is scared as hell of the big 12-6 curveball. I think he's done a better job lately at laying off that pitch, and he's getting fastballs, letting them travel, and hitting the ball to the right side. He hit one through a wide-open right side today. He scorched one off the right field wall earlier in the series. I think he's getting close. And once you start doing that, you start forcing the opposition to pitch you inside. And at that point, then maybe he can cheat on the fastball a little bit from time to time. Excuse me. And maybe bring some rain. I'm tired of him bringing rain. I want him to bring some runs. I'm tired of... There's too many pop-ups on this team. Have you guys noticed that? I think there was one season where Wade Boggs popped up twice the entire season. I've always felt like pop-ups were the weakest kind of out you can make. I hate pop-ups even worse than strikeouts. You know, because occasionally, you know, a pitcher's just going to fool you. You know, and everybody strikes out. But not everybody pops up all the time. So guys who pop up all the time are the worst because literally nothing can happen. And you have to wait a long time for the play to play out. It's like, God dang it. You have like an extra 5 seconds to be mad. So it's to me worse than strikeouts. Andy says, man, it seems like we play Luis Castillo every week. Yeah, I totally agree.
Absolutely, hey.
Anthony Pupo says, where the hell is Ben Rortvedt at? He is in the minor leagues rehabbing. But Ben Rortvedt isn't going to fix this team. I mean, Ben Rortvedt's a career minor leaguer who's had a small cup of coffee. Honestly, this team probably should have gone out and got Juan Soto. Honestly, I would have been upset about dealing the farm. But again, you can't control who teams prefer to trade their players to because they value prospects differently. Anthony Volpe doesn't have the same value to other organizations that he has to the Yankees. Right? Same with Peraza. So you just got to hope that the Yankees, as presently constructed, can figure it out, can get going. You take it to Seattle, it's going to be a long plane ride. I'm sure it's not going to be fun. That's one of the worst types of games you can lose, too, because it takes forever in the heat. There was 102 real feel. Sun is beating down on you. When you lose a game like that, and it just takes all day, it's really demoralizing. It's demoralizing as a fan to watch, too. I want to give a shout out to all the members. You're seeing them on the screen. Everybody who supported this channel. Just a reminder to go to manscaped.com. Use the code NYY Recaps at checkout. And save 20% off and get free shipping on your order. They got a lot of great products. And to subscribe on your favorite podcatcher to NYY Recaps. I'll be back for a pregame tomorrow at 9 p.m. Take it easy.